Alright, we are back in the garage with great news. My wife certified me a DILF. For those of you who don't know, a more common four-letter, whatever that is it acronym? I think acronym. Four-letter acronym is MILF. So if you know what a MILF is, replace the mom with a D for dad, and that would be me, certified DILF. But what it actually says is, damn, I love fishing. I don't know if she knew she certified me as a DILF, as it came in a package of stickers of like 300 of these things. But like always, we're going to put a sticker on the refrigerator. This is the one we're doing today. Or the microwave. Maybe we'll put it on the microwave. Yeah, we're putting it on the microwave. So, that's part one. Sticker placed. Certified DILF. Great news. Okay. Why you're here today is nothing about the sticker. We got some unboxings which are already out of the box. But some first pours and some new products, so we're going to review them. The first one is, how should I start this? I guess the first one, somebody asked in comments on Facebook, one of the Facebook pages I'm on, if the fish form injectors are any good. So fish form is the generic injector that you can get on Amazon, much cheaper than you would get on, say, one of the Angling AI sites or more official plastic pouring websites. Much cheaper. So I already had one. This, I believe, is a 9-ounce. Yeah, this is a 9-ounce fish form that I got from Amazon. It's worked flawlessly for about a year now. Really happy with it. So, needed, because of our newfound technique that we ended up winning Lake Oregon on, which I'll link that at the end of the video. If you haven't watched that video, it's a really good video. It was our second time out scoping fish, basically with a minnow, jig head minnow, and we won the dang tournament by a lot. So I'll link that at the end. But so to pour, I'm trying to pour my own plastics instead of having to buy them at $9-10 a bag. But one of the keys to the jig head minnow is the wobble side to side and the flash, which means you need two different colors, a bottom and a top on the minnow. So what we needed was this guy. It's basically a dual injector with one exit port. So I'll show you what basically happens here is you put two colors, one in each one, and it ends up coming out in one down this side, one down this side. We're going to show you how this looks, but ultimately that piece right there, plus the dual injectors, so they're twinsies, 7-ounce fish form, twin injectors with this brace that keeps them level, and this is called a blending block. So I don't remember what this was. I think it was $140 on Amazon. To get the same thing from Angling AI, I think it was close to $500 for, and I'm sure the quality is much better. I'm sure it'll last 1,000 years longer. I'm sure if you're more into, I don't know, bulk processing, that might be the way to go. For what we do, this should work just fine. We're going to find out. So what it does, ultimately, you draw both colors at the same time out of two 2 why can't I think? Pyrex. Those aren't Pyrex brand, but basically 2 measuring cups, glass measuring cups. You're going to draw them both up at the same time. Put this on your mold, and you're going to shoot a belly color and a top color. So it also came with a bunch of replacement O-rings. 4 for the big O-rings, and 2 for the little O-rings that go in here. So you got 6 replaceable O-rings, and you can obviously take this off. If you're shooting solid colors, you could take that off and just shoot. You could have 2 people shooting, or 2 different colors, or whatever you want to do. But you could take this off and have 2 injectors. So these knobbies would go. This would come off. The knobs would go on the top of these, and you'd have 2 separate 7-ounce injectors. So I've already got a 9-ounce injector from Fish Form, so I'm not going to need these. Hopefully I don't need the replacement gaskets, seals, whatever, for a while. So I'm going to put these away somewhere I can find them, hopefully, with all my other stuff, with my stickers, my 300 stickers. So that's one part of the new process. The other part is a new mold, a CNC mold. If you know anything about the different molds and the ones that we've been buying, you know by these caps. Well, maybe not. Maybe other people use these caps, but the ones we've been buying, these caps are specific from Angling AI. And we bought the minnow, which is called the 4-inch pinpoint. The 4-inch is a little bit, I would say, an in-between size. The guys right now, all the craze, all the trend is like 6, 7, 8-inch minnows. We did fine with 3.5 and 4-inch baits, so we stuck with in the middle. So we're gonna do first pours with this. Haven't seen a pour with this. I reheated some remelt just to see what this would do, and I will show you that here in a minute. But ultimately, this is going to be a first pour with both these items, pretty much. This one has been used once, but this is the first pour for this. So we're going to mix up some plastic and get after it, and hopefully have a pretty cool product for you guys to see at the end. So here we go. So these cups have been sitting in my garage in the tackle box here for a while unused. And because of the summer humidity here in Michigan, they are soaking wet. So you want to make sure you get any moisture out of the bottoms of these cups. It's not good for the plastisol. So we're going to dry them all out. We got to mix up some plastic, pour some plastic, heat some plastic, then we'll talk colors here in a second. So, first key is getting these heated up roughly at the same time. To roughly the same temperature, right? So we've done that so far, but it's going to get messy because we're going to make the colors and then have to pop them back in. So for the underbelly, we are going to do a white, silver, grayish. I don't know exactly. We're gonna play around with it. And then for the top, we're gonna do a pearchy type color. So like this is the green pumpkin brown that was in the other video, which I have shaken this time, with some gold flake and maybe a little gold mica to get like a perch type feeling with a white belly. That's what we're shooting for. So before these things go too cold, we're gonna start adding some color. Starting with 5 drops of white. In a cup and a half of plastic. And that looks like a white milky belly, just like that, without adding anything else. We do have these powders, which adds a little bit of sheen almost. So I'm going to add a very tiny bit of this. It's called Astra White powder. Just a little bit like that. And I'm just doing this to my liking. Ultimately, I've had a couple people that wanted certain baits, and what I did was made it to my liking. Sent them a picture. What do you want more of? More flake, less flake, darker purple, darker green pumpkin, lighter green pumpkin, and basically I can adjust it from there. So, for now, I don't know if you can tell. You might not be able to tell. Maybe in the final product you'll be able to tell. The powder gives it just this little bit of sheen. And I'm not going to show the camera right now, but you'll see it in the finished product. Then we're going to add just a tiny bit of small silver flake from Lure Works. Silver 0.015, so it's one of the smallest size. And I don't want a ton of that, so we're going to start there and see what happens. Just enough for a little shimmer, a little bit different. Just so it's got some dimension, I guess, would be probably what an artist would say. Some dimension. We're going to add some dimension. Would Bob Ross say we're going to add some dimension? That's what we've done. We've added a little dimension with that silver flake. That looks good to me. Moving on. This is the color I'm a little bit more concerned about getting right, I guess. I don't know why. It's going to be fine. They always turn out fine. We're going to start with some, let's start with just 5 drops of this too. This is not from Lure Works, so I'll show you the colors on the white ones here in a second, but this is the one from Do It, the X2 colorant that I just recently got. And when I first poured it, it turned out very much like watermelon, and I wasn't happy. But then I mixed it, and it turned out like green pumpkin brown, which is what we wanted. And I could tell in the video when I was shooting the video, yeah, this is darker. It looked fluorescent, which is kind of like a watermelon, right? More transparent. because the back doesn't need to be see-through at all. So we doubled that. So that's like 10 drops total of the X2, which is supposed to go farther, basically. Times 2. So times 2 the color. So you should be able to use it on twice as much stuff with the same amount. To be determined. But I wanted it darker. Basically, a lot of baits that they sell are black back. So black is obviously a very dark color. We're gonna go with a dark green pumpkin brown with some gold flake. And this is from Lure Works as well. This is a sample pack. This is the first one of the little baggies I'm using. Because I needed a certain color and I didn't want to buy a whole bunch of it. But we're going to add a little gold here. Maybe even more than what I needed. I don't know. And that will give it some shimmer, give her some shine. Yeah, that looks fairly perchy. Okay, so both of these are cooled way down, too much to shoot. So we're gonna put them both in. I don't know how well you'll be able to tell. That's our colors. We're going to put them both in at the same time. And the reason for that is they were dang near the same temperature when they came out. They've been out for the same amount of time. It's almost the exact same amount of plastic. So they should heat up similar. We're going to put them in the same amount of time. Get rid of our colors. For now, up. Or if we want to tweak it, then we can tweak it. I think we're gonna be alright. Okay, so next thing we need to determine is which one of these sides is the belly. Okay? So the belly's gonna be this side, the deeper side. And that, you're going to want the lighter color, always. Everything in nature. A deer has a white belly, brown on top. A perch has either an orange or a white belly with gold and black on top. So, I highly suggest using gloves, especially if you haven't done this before. There's too many, and I'm not using them right now, but when I go to draw this up, you bet I'm going to be, because I don't know what this thing feels like or nothing. But I have burnt myself. I've burnt through gloves, so I have the right kind of gloves. See, I almost burnt myself right there. I'm actually going to put it in for a little bit longer. Get a little bit more liquidy. So going back to the bottom of the mold, top of the mold has the pins on it. So I'm going to put it like that. And when you line up your cups, you're going to draw the belly on this side, right? Because that's this side, basically. We're going to draw it up, belly side, top side. We're going to put this on here, like so. And you want to line that up. This actually works out alright. I could put this thing in a vise. I'm going to try it without. We'll see. Might have to clamp that down. But belly side, top side's by the pins. We're going to just draw it up. So you make sure this thing's moving. pull these out, grab my gloves. I know they're hot enough now. Mix them both. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfecto, perfecto. Also perfecto. And we're gonna put her in, draw her up, go out because that's weird. We don't want to get white in the green. Make sure you're in there all the way and square and inject. So that's the first time I've done this. We're going to hold some pressure on there. Didn't even feel like it filled up much to me. I don't know. And we're going to push what we got back into the ones that we got so that we're not wasting a bunch of plastic. And that's our first shoot. So, with that said, probably should top the sprue off, but I don't know with what color. We'll see how this turns out like this. We've got some leftovers in here. So when I pull this out, I got white on one side and our green pumpkin gold on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab two smaller Pyrexes just for my leftovers, because you want to keep your colors separate. I'm going to pull green pumpkin there, white over there, empty that out. And then, oh, did I already lose the wing nut? Of course I did. So a lot more moving parts with two injectors. So kind of try to keep organized the best you can. So I'm gonna leave this. Pretty much always I'm going to leave this as a dual injector. And then we're going to keep that hot. We're not going to add the cold back to it. So we're going to just pull off what we got, put them in there. Pull off one top. If you can. Put that in there. Should be wearing my gloves. This is still hot. I'm really bad about safety stuff. I feel like I'm better than it, and a lot of times that burns me literally. So use your safety stuff. And there's nothing left, so we're going to pull that one out. So, boop, boop, boop. Ready for the next shoot. We're going to give that just a second to cool off. See what we got. Should be good. It's actually probably cold enough now, but I'm going to take a drink of beer, give it another second, let it set up. There's two things about the heat. You want it close to the same temp so that they mix together, right? Instead of one super hot one bleeding into the other. I don't know how all that works, but I wanted to make sure that they were close to the same temp. So that was one thing that I did. And then we're going to let it cool down all the way, because if you mess up a laminate, we've done some open pore laminates. I don't even know if we did videos on them because they were just kind of for us. And anyway, we've had where you can peel them apart basically very simply. So a couple casts and it's falling apart. You got, instead of one minnow, you got two half minnows acting as one, and it's not a good look. So we're going to let it set up for a minute, make sure that it's done. We've got a St. Clair coming up. St. Clair's coming up pretty soon, a couple more days. And then the end of the year classic is coming up. Chad and I qualified for that, so we're going to be going up for a week. You'll see a ton of that on Burt and Mullet Lakes. Big lakes up closer to the UP here in Michigan. Giant lakes, smallmouth lakes, giant fish. It should be good, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's see what we got here. See how it came out. Drum roll. I think that's what World's Worst Fishing does, is drum rolls. We won't steal his thunder. So, that's what the top looks like. Initial thoughts already. That is too light, I think. So we're going to darken that up. But I'm not going to have you stick around for that. That's our bait. That's our bait. It's got a white belly. I like the white. White looks good. But that, again, looks very chartreuse. Maybe it's because I added the gold flake. Maybe it's because it's got a white background. But we're going to darken up that, the green pumpkin, and make it more chartreuse. So, not a huge fan of these, but that's the first pour. It's a very flimsy bait, but it's still hot, so we'll see how that works. But I'm super excited to put these on a jig head, which we do have a jig head coming. So that should work good. They like that. I mean, it's got a subtle action when there's water around it, so let's see if we can't darken that color up and make a better looking product. But that's in essence, that's what we got. And I need a third I don't know what you want to call it. Let's call it a scrap cup. Third scrap cup. And we're going to put the third scrap cup. We'll have the mixed color sprues in it. We don't want to mix them again. But there's our first pour. And I'm just not happy with the green. Almost looks yellow. So those might all go in the scrap. Actually, they're going to all go in the scrap bucket. Let's do it again. We're going to add some green pumpkin to that. Or some brown, actually. But that's it, in essence. That was it. We're going to add actual brown to the green pumpkin brown. We're only going to drop 3 in there for that. I should have waited until we reheated it, but I didn't. So that's not going to do what we want it to do. So let's throw just the green pumpkin back. Alright, if you want to stick around and see the finished product, do so. Otherwise, that's what we got. That's what came out. I'm just not super happy with it. So if you want to stick around, stick around. Otherwise, thank you for watching. You guys have been great. We've been getting a lot of new subscribers, so thank you for that. If you haven't subscribed, please do. My name's Eric. Chad's normally with me if anybody. Got a few other guys that have been on some videos that are all pretty cool. So we appreciate you. All of us appreciate you. Trying to get to 500 subscribers. We're getting close. These type of videos you guys really seem to like. So thank you for that. Hit the thumbs up. Share it to a friend. And if you're not going to stick around, we'll catch you next time.